Covering the areas of Auburn and Bankstown, this is your local station, 100.9 2BACR.
You're on!
Hi guys, and welcome to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever. You're here with Steph, Rachel and Bridget on 100.9 FM, 2BACR 100.9 FM. So we're having a bit of technical difficulty here.
Well, I don't know if we are or we aren't, and that thing keeps playing. For some reason, I'll turn that off, wait.
Maybe a possible community message that comes on every now and again.
Just randomly.
It's just the station promo, actually.
Yeah, well, tonight's topics are, we'll be talking about what everybody is talking about at the moment, which is the royal baby. So
It's a prince.
yes, it is a prince.
A nameless prince.
But we'll be focusing on the name of the baby. So, you know, what do you think they'll name it? What's most likely? What do you think they should name it? You know, and then in line with that whole royalty thing, we'll be talking about chivalry and etiquette. So is chivalry dead? Do you expect people to do things for you? What's the etiquette of certain things? Like, you know, like dinner or going to public bathrooms, things like that.
Yes. You can't spare a square.
We'll be doing our movie review. We'll be back this week, and this week I'll be reviewing Man of Steel, which I saw on Sunday night. We'll also be talking about coats of arms and the flag of Australia. If you think that should change, or do you like them?
What would you like on a coat of arms?
Yeah. And we'll just have a brief segment at the end to talk about the Oxfam Trail Walker. So
That Steph and I are doing
in
the far too near future.
the far too near future?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be a little more comfortable if it was further.
All right. But we'll go straight into our songs with this.
Yeah, I figured it out. We're good.
We're good?
That wasn't playing. This will be playing.
Next, no more technical difficulties, hopefully. No more dead air.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
There's not a guarantee. Yeah.
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 That I heard that one.
That was a bit ominous.
Let's see how this works. This is Jump Into the Fog on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Hi guys, you're back with Wednesday Night Zombie Fever on 2BACR 100.9 FM. So, the topic of this week, the royal baby.
This week, it's going to be the topic of the rest of our lives.
Probably. The royal baby takes its first steps. The royal baby says its first word.
I actually saw a headline the other day because I thought maybe this will die down, you know, the anticipation, everything for the baby. Then I saw a headline that said, how long until there are two?
Oh, God.
With a picture of Diana and Harry and William. And I was like, really?
See, but there's been some really ridiculous news because they had nothing to report while she was in the hospital or, you know, before she went into the hospital even. There had been press lined up with their spots marked out and stuff like that. And I remember seeing one news segment where the reporter's like, oh, and we've heard from the grandfather of the baby. And it's Prince Charles walking, and she's like, oh, so what have you heard? And he's like, nothing. And they just kept walking, and that was their whole clip.
Yeah.
So
they'll take what they can get.
Yeah. And we had one of our listeners on Facebook mentioned that there was a report on how much the blanket the baby wrapped in cost for them to buy, which is...
Do we know if it was expensive? I mean...
I don't know. But why would you care if the blanket was expensive?
If I was British, I would care because that's probably my tax.
But what we're really going to talk about today is the name, because that's the next big question. Like, the baby's been born, we found out it's a boy. What are they going to name it?
Imagine if they called it Maximus.
That'd be so cool.
That'd be epic.
Yes. But I don't
Maximus
think
Mountbatten Windsor.
Mountbatten?
That's the name.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of the names they can choose. They don't have to have a surname, but yeah.
Wow.
It's Mountbatten Windsor, Cambridge, and something else.
Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, so there's been speculation of what the name's going to be. I think most people are thinking it's going to be George. That's the poll at the moment. The most likely one people are saying is going to be George.
George, yeah. They're also saying James maybe, and I saw a suggestion of Alexander, which seems a bit left field, even though I just gestured right.
Yes, because there's, you know, princes and kings and stuff. They've had the same names basically hundreds of years.
Yes.
So I don't think. Do you think they're going to go really traditional?
I don't know. They seem to like breaking tradition with a lot of things. I think William actually drove the car outside of he drove the car away from the wedding. I don't think that was tradition.
Okay. That's not tradition for anybody.
No, he probably just really wanted an opportunity to drive.
Oh, maybe.
But also they're not having a nanny as they traditionally have. Yeah. They are having a carer, but it's probably going to be more of a household duties as well, not a full-time nanny.
Yeah. I think that's probably the way to go.
As much as they're probably not being traditional in terms of what's traditional for a royal baby, they're not exactly radical.
No.
Either.
No, definitely
So we're not going to get North Windsor or something.
Yeah, North Windsor.
Maybe it's a
place name.
East or South.
I live in North Windsor.
That'd be horrible.
West is a compass direction.
Well,
oh, God.
So the name. What would you like them to call it? If you could pick any name. Okay, what's your favourite baby boy name? I don't think I've got one, but I'd probably give something weird.
I have a few. I really like Laurie.
Laurie?
Yeah.
What about you, Rachel? What's your favourite guy's name?
Favourite guy's name?
Because
I don't really have one, though.
I also like
think
Dallas.
I think going for a family member, just look through your as far back as you can go on the family tree and find the best one that you can come up with. And there's a guy on our security camera monitor who keeps walking backwards and forwards down the hallway.
Nobody cares about that guy.
Okay.
But, I have a number of different names that I like, but I would probably be really unusual. So I'd go for something like ancient, like Augustus or something. And then you can call him, Gus for short, which is okay.
But that just sounds like... You know what I first think of when I think of Augustus?
Caesar Augustus?
Well, I do think of Augustus. But then the second, as a picture, I think of... What's his name?
Augustus Gloop.
Augustus Gloop.
No, I'd name him after Caesar Augustus. Or, I don't know, I tend to want to name my kids after game characters, so I'd go Link or...
Link isn't that bad.
Or Ezio. So...
Yeah.
It's a cool name. And it's also an old Italian name, so I think people of my family would approve.
Oh, yeah. I also like Liam.
Yeah. Is there anyone in particular there, Bridget?
No, it's not after Liam Gallagher. But that's a slight bonus.
Yeah, so let us know on Facebook if you what you think they're going to call the baby, or what you think they should call it. Because I've heard some suggestions today. One of them was Brett. They should name him Brett Windsor.
Wasn't it by somebody named Brett?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay,
but and I also suggested
Rachel
today...
is a great name for a guy.
I suggested today that they should name it something really Aussie. So let's go Barry Windsor. You can have King Bazza.
Windsor.
Tony Windsor.
But let us know on Facebook what you think they should name it. Please don't give us your own name.
Yeah.
Think of something a little bit more original than your own.
Or let us know what you think they actually are going to name it. Not just what you would like them to name it.
Yeah.
But also what you think they're actually going to name it.
Let us know on Facebook, or you can give us a call here as well. The number is
9793-1009.
Yeah. So we'll go into our next lot of songs.
I was looking at that. You actually knew it.
Has the song up that I want to play next, because it's really appropriate for this whole topic.
Well, yes. No, you've got that song. I don't have that song. What do you thought? You think
YouTube it.
Oh, fine. Give me a second.
Yeah, because this song is really appropriate for this entire topic. And it's basically, there's a show called Horrible Histories where they it's basically a kids' history show.
It's the third suggestion after I type in Horrible Histories.
Yeah, so it's just a song of all the names of the rulers of England.
Maybe that's what they're doing right now. They're just listening to this song on repeat.
Yeah, and which one should we choose?
Yeah.
Just playing scissors, paper, rock or something to see who gets to name the kid.
So okay. Are we good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go. Our technical difficulties have been completely sorted out for the next half hour.
Oh, good.
After that, I'll be fine.
Aren't we fine now?
So this is the Kings and Queens song from Horrible Histories, followed by the Rainbow Connection from the Muppets on 2BACR. It was a request.
Okay.
2BACR 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever. And who didn't love that song? Come on. Not the Muppets one. The Horrible Histories one. The Muppets one is
John.
good.
Sorry, John. Steph didn't like your request.
I like the Muppet song, but how good is that Horrible History song? I used to be able to say the entire thing.
Okay.
It's so awesome.
Yep.
It's not as much of an achievement as Steph would like to believe.
I learned a lot from that show, okay?
I do have to point this out, though, to everyone who's, like, listening, because I did mention before that somebody's walking back and forth on our security camera screen. Now there's a weird, ominous blue
It's a spider
glow.
web.
It's a spider web.
So, okay. So we've talked about the baby names, and we had a post on Facebook suggesting that the baby should be called Chewbacca Windsor. This is a serious suggestion from one of our listeners.
He claims it was a serious suggestion.
It's not entirely traditional, but...
No, it's a little bit out there, you know, just a little bit.
Don't mind it,
As
though.
you could hear in that song,
It's
Chewbacca
not Patrick,
is not...
you know.
Yeah, Chewbacca is not in the list of historical kings and queens.
No, there was that whole section. Chewbacca, Chewbacca, Chewbacca.
I think that might have been George. Anyway.
George.
That's my favourite bit in that song. Anyway. Okay, so okay, the baby's a boy. We all know that now. But if it had been a girl, there are heaps less girls' names that they could have picked out of that list of, you know, traditional names.
Heaps less.
So I think there's Anne, Mary, Elizabeth, and Victoria.
Yes.
They probably wouldn't have called her Elizabeth.
No.
But they don't need to have gone for, like... Okay,
Maybe Anne.
remember, the Kate Middleton has her own family of names to draw from.
Yeah, but it's kind of like when that Australian lady married that prince of
Denmark. Yeah, they only had a couple of...
Yeah, they were only allowed to choose certain names.
Yeah.
For their son, because he was the first in line for the throne. So they named him Christian, which is one of their traditional names.
Yeah. And there weren't many.
I think she was allowed to choose any name she wanted for her daughter as long as it was conservative. So as long as it wasn't something like, you know, really out there, like, I don't know, desktop. I don't know, it's the first thing I saw. But, yeah, as long as it wasn't something extremely weird.
Princess Desktop.
Yeah. So I think she named her Isabel or Isabella or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, no, Imogen, I think it was. Imogen.
Okay,
Which I think is a really nice name.
I'm gonna
I do
Google
like the
this
name
one.
Imogen, but that doesn't sound familiar at all. Anyway.
I think it was Imogen because I don't like the name Isabella. Not particularly. It's a nice name, but it's not one I'd particularly like.
Is that just from Twilight?
No, I don't know. I don't really like the sound of it, to be honest.
I don't know. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But so they don't like necessarily have to go that traditional and actually pick a name that's been used before. But
As long as it's a conservative, not so odd name.
yeah, because
They probably wouldn't go for something like Alexis.
I'm going to go
Maybe.
out on a limb and say that I'm going to bet against Chris on this and say that Chewbacca is not going to be the kid's name.
I'd put money on that. Yeah.
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 Although Chris is going to be in a lot of money if it does end up Chewbacca Windsor.
Imagine
true.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have picked this? This probably would have happened for the other royal baby, the American one, the Kardashian baby.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
People probably were like, "Oh, imagine if they called it like North."
And can you imagine the poor person who put their life savings on Southwest as the name?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they're probably
Yeah, I
pretty
think
angry.
you're probably safe. The only one you would be safe with is it wouldn't be West.
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 You have to
Yeah.
go west and then further west.
And East-West is either North or South because you can't do East-West.
That's true. You can't.
No.
You went with this look of like, wait a second.
The whole baby, the baby would have that
I
look on its
swear
face the
those
whole
Google
life.
directions
But
have
yeah.
told me to go East-West a couple
mean,
of times.
At least with the royals, you know that their baby's name's not going to be something really stupid and, you know, there's been some
Yeah.
really weird...
You know it's going to be pretty boring.
Yeah, there's been some really weird celebrity names.
Yeah,
Yeah.
audio science or whatever it was.
Yeah, audio science. I think that's the worst one I've ever heard.
It's
But,
pretty
you know,
bad.
there's, I think... whose daughter
I
is it?
still don't like
Someone's-
Apple.
I don't mind Apple, but there's someone named their daughter Scout. One really famous actor. Don't remember which one it was. And then there's one of the My Chemical Romance singer named his daughter Bandit.
Yeah, Bandit.
Yeah, so there's some really odd ones.
You can't be 50 named Bandit.
No, you can't. It's cute when you're a little kid.
I mean, hopefully she will be, but
Yeah. Not a nice name.
Denmark, the kids' names are Christian, Isabella, Vincent, and Josephine.
So it was Isabella, it wasn't Imogen. Damn.
yeah.
Did they have more kids? Oh, yeah, that's right. They had twins after that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Vincent.
I'm a little bit over the whole royal thing. I did watch some of it, but the baby's cute, but you didn't really get to see it. And I don't know why they were camped outside the hospital. So many paparazzi camped outside the,
Everyone camped out to get the exact same shot.
Yeah, of
It's
that.
literally the same shot.
And then they drove away, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And people are
far-
standing on whatever they can to get a good view.
But I just thought, as soon as I saw that footage of them coming out and all the crowd just cheering and screaming, I'm like, that poor baby, that poor baby.
Well, so far, if anybody wants to get in on this, the going bet for Chewbacca is $1.
Okay.
Chris is betting $1
That it will be
that
Chewbacca.
it will be Chewbacca.
Alright.
I am looking forward to my cones at McDonald's, Chris. Hand over that $1.
So yeah, let's go into our next group of songs.
Yep, this is Biffy Clyro, followed by Death Cab for Cutie on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever. You're listening to Steph, Rach and Bridget on 2BACR 100.9 FM. So we were just talking about the royals, and if there's anybody more, in keeping with etiquette, I don't think you'd be able to tell me who they were. They are the most kind of proper people in the world.
I did hear
Royals?
rumours of William doing Living on a Prayer
Really?
at his wedding reception.
That's a little bit out there.
Just
But,
a little bit.
Yeah, so our next topic is chivalry and etiquette. So
Yes.
we'll start off with, do you think chivalry is dead?
A little bit.
Yeah, but maybe that's our fault. Well, not my fault.
Well, it's not my fault either.
But
No.
maybe that's, just how the world is going. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
everything's just slowly being degraded.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
think it's because you've got some crazy feminists. Like, there's regular feminists who I classify as normal people.
Yes.
Who believe in equal rights, and I think basically everyone's a feminist in that regard. But then you get people who think that opening a door for somebody is sexist, that
Yeah.
equate chivalry with sexism.
Yeah.
Which is
I don't
wrong.
think is right, because I hold doors open for people. If somebody walks through the door behind me, I'll hold the door open for them. Or if they've got stuff in their hands, I'll open the door for them. I don't run up to open a door for somebody.
No.
But,
Unless they're clearly carrying something and can't open a door.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, I think that's just, politeness.
Yes.
And, I've had people open a door for me as well, in the same kind of context.
Yep.
And Bridget was talking before about having the chair pulled out for you.
Yeah, which I really didn't expect. So I sat down in a different chair. And then I just looked up at him like, "You're going to sit down?"
But yeah, I've had a chair pulled out for me a couple of times, and I think it's nice, but it's unexpected. I don't expect a guy to pull a chair out for me.
No.
And I don't think it's sexist either. I don't think they're thinking, oh, this woman can't pull the chair out for herself.
She cannot open the door by herself.
Yes.
She's not physically capable of dragging that chair.
Yes. I don't think it's that kind of mentality. But I
No.
think a lot of guys have been possibly yelled at for doing stuff like that, and they just think, well, I'm not going to do it anymore.
Yeah. But there's a lot of
Why
people...
can't that work with smokers?
Yeah.
You keep yelling at me, so I'll just quit. No, for some reason that doesn't compute.
No. A lot of people get angry on the train and they seem to confuse, like they think that people should stand up for them.
Yeah.
But they shouldn't. Why should they stand up? Like, why should a guy stand up for a lady on the train?
Well, there's no reason to.
No.
Unless the lady is pregnant or has a disability or is elderly.
Yeah.
Those are the three things. But
that's
that's for
general-
men as well.
apart from the
Yeah, but
pregnancy.
that goes with the men as well. Oh,
Yeah.
except for pregnancy. Oh, maybe it could.
There could be some pregnant men out there. No.
Oh, so is
So
men
imagine
on the
if a
news
man
the other day.
came onto the train and it stopped like a pillow or something under there and it's like, excuse me.
I'm pregnant. Get off. Yeah, but stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
or school children should be standing up for people on the train as well.
Definitely.
A lot of school children don't. I used to catch the train all the time going to school, and as soon as the train started to fill up, I'd just stand up because I know that somebody's going to want my seat eventually. But then, as soon as I stood up, it'd be filled by another school student. So I'm like, what's the point in me standing? I'm standing, because I'm supposed to. But then some stupid school student will take my seat.
You wait until someone else...
Yeah, but the train is full of school children, So, school children and other people, of course.
Yeah. But you have to wait until, the other person is standing, right next to you, and then you stand up and say, do you want this seat?
Yes. Well, that's the only way you can do it. You can't, stand up and just expect the right person to take your seat.
I've stood over a school student and said, excuse me, I want to sit down.
You're in my seat.
Yeah.
But that's not about sort of common courtesy and everything. That's because they're not paying for their ticket, right?
Yeah. But that's the etiquette. You're a school kid. That's you're supposed to stand up for someone else on the train.
Yeah, because you're not paying.
That's basically it. So yeah, I don't think chivalry is particularly dead. I think there are still some chivalrous people out there. People who will help you out, say, if you drop your books in the street or something, or your bag strap breaks and they'll help you pick up the stuff or something like that. There's still people out there who'll do that.
One thing that does annoy me though, and I know some people it doesn't bother them because they think it's a compliment, but beeping horns or whistling out of cars when you're walking past. What was our record for today? Every time that Steph and I go walking, training for Trail Walker, we count.
Today our record was 10.
10.
Yeah.
10 cars beeping the horns at us.
In 30 kilometres.
10 cars in 30 kilometres. So beeping or yelling out the window, which is not... I don't know where they think it's going to get them.
Was it 5 hours?
We started at 8:45 and finished at 3 around, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah. In that time period, we had 10 people beep or whistle or yell at us.
Well, you don't see me doing that when I'm driving, so I don't understand it either.
I know, right?
It's only ever guys.
Although once, there was this one time when I can't remember where we were driving past. Oh, we were driving past, driving through Newtown, and my sister was mid-story, stopped looking out the window and says, oh my God, that guy was really good looking.
But did she beep or yell at him? That's the difference.
I was driving. She wasn't into me. She said it pretty loudly. Maybe he could have heard. Or maybe that entire gang of guys could have heard and gotten a really big ego boost out of it, even though it was only directed at one of them.
I had a friend who used to get a kick out of when she was driving, beeping the horn. So then I would look around to see what she was beeping at. And I'd look at this group of guys and they'd all just be looking at me. And I'm like, I hate you so much.
That's funny.
And she just thought it was hilarious.
Do you think it's different if girls do it to when guys do it?
I think guys would probably enjoy it more. Because I look at it, if a guy does it to me, I think you're a sleaze. Yeah.
I don't even look. You just keep...
Yeah, well, you think it in your head.
Yeah.
You're a sleaze.
Yeah.
But if a girl
does it seems more sort of playful, even though it's the exact same thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Most girls come across as a little bit less sleazy, though. I think it doesn't happen as often.
And that's kind of in a lot of things, that you'd criticise a guy for. When a girl does it, it's a lot less sleazy.
Yeah. But I think it's less often that it happens with women. Like a woman most likely
won't be too embarrassed, and
most women. So I think that's maybe why guys would think that it's not as bad. Yeah.
Well, let us know on Facebook if you're a guy.
Would you like to be whistled at?
Do you do the whistling?
Yeah. Why?
Yeah. What side of this are you on?
Tell us.
Do you think that there's a difference when girls do this to when guys do this?
Yeah.
And of course, there is a poll up there right now. Is chivalry dead? So far, there's been a vote for no.
Awesome.
And no votes for yes. Well, that was kind of implied. But that's from somebody who also thinks that the royal baby's going to be named Chewbacca.
Ah.
So are we
Let's
not
put that in context?
Credibility factor. Just
so if somebody wants to jump on and support Chris, you can do that on Facebook. In the meantime, this is a request for Emma. This is Bewitched with C'est La Vie on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Zombies. You're listening to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever with Steph, Rach and Bridget. So, chivalry and etiquette. There are lots of situations where, etiquette is involved. So we're talking public transport, we're talking, bathrooms, dinner tables, just public places in general.
Yeah.
So in a public toilet, okay, so I used to I used to live in a dorm.
You're about to say you used to live in a bubble.
No. I used to live in a dorm, right? And the toilet in that dorm, there was a toilet, like a couple of bathrooms on each level.
Yep.
And they were co-ed, which I found a bit strange.
But it's a shared bathroom, not just a public bathroom, right?
No, it's a shared bathroom, but it's the same kind of thing. And I used to go in and have showers in the morning. And you're in your own little cubicle, but if anybody got into the cubicle next to you, they'd want to have a chat. So I'd be standing there showering, you know, doing my thing, and then to walk in like, so who's showering next to me? And I'd just be silent. Because I am... And they're like, oh, don't want to talk to me today. I'm like, and I just wouldn't say anything.
Did you ever get the occasion when you like didn't hear, obviously when you didn't say anything, that someone would come and go, oh, somebody must have left the water running, just opened the shower curtain. And...
You know, well, it wasn't a curtain. Like, there was like,
a
little change room, and then there was the shower bit.
It was like doors, like a normal toilet.
Yeah. But there was like a door
so
you'd lock.
Yeah.
And that was to the change room, and then there'd be a separate bit for the shower.
Yeah.
But yeah, so because I'm of the opinion that if you're in a public toilet or a shared bathroom, whatever goes on in the next cubicle, you cannot hear anything. You pretend you do not hear anything that comes from that cubicle.
Yep.
So I asked the question about sneezing. If somebody sneezes in a cubicle next to you, it's polite. Well, if somebody sneezes, it's polite to say bless you or gesundheit or whatever. But if they're in the cubicle, in the bathroom cubicle, do you have to say it?
No.
I don't think you should.
I don't.
Because I think, you know, you pretend you're deaf.
Yeah.
When you're in the toilet cubicle. I don't want to talk to anybody.
I really, really don't like it. Even if it's someone that I work with and we both go into the bathroom, conversation is over.
Yeah. No, you don't talk.
Until you're washing your hands.
Yeah.
Like, you do not talk. I really don't like it. I don't like sitting there and then being like, how's your day going? I'm just like...
This is a room of silence.
Fine.
Actually...
random idle chatter is weird. But if somebody's asking, I'm like, oh my god, I don't have any toilet paper. Do you have toilet paper?
I think that is the only time when you're allowed to reply.
It's such a universally awkward situation when you're in... Like, when you run out of toilet paper in a bathroom that isn't your own house bathroom.
Yes. Well, I think in this situation... The person in the cubicle next to you runs out of toilet paper. They're like, excuse me, do you have any toilet paper? Hand it over silently.
Yes.
Just hand them over some toilet paper and they'll forget that it ever happened.
Slip it under the side there.
Be
and
really
you walk
bad
out of that cubicle, even if you walk out at the same time. If you walk out at the same time, you pretend you do not know that person. You pretend that you never had any contact with this person. They're just the ghost of the cubicle next to you. I believe this of toilet etiquette.
That just went really strange.
Yeah. But there's also, you know, public transport etiquette.
Yeah.
So, you know the rain things, like don't put your feet on the seat and, you know, don't litter and that kind of stuff.
Don't talk loudly on your phone.
That's a big
Or to
one.
yourself, which I've had.
Although I kind of enjoy listening to other people's conversations. Yes, I eavesdrop a little bit. So
I think everyone eavesdrops.
Yeah.
I remember one day on the train, this guy was on the phone and he was just... Everything he said, it was just... Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And the whole time. And I just wanted to get the phone and, like, put it on the ground and then just smash it repeatedly with my foot and be like, yeah, I know.
I like listening to other people's drama. So I got on the train once and I could hear these people talking about a guy that just got out of prison and it's like, oh, no, he's a really nice guy. He just got out of prison, though.
I don't hear stuff like that.
Yeah, all these two people that were on their way to their parole hearing and, yeah, that kind of stuff is interesting on the train.
I miss out on that stuff.
But one thing is music on the train. This really bugs me because I have, you know, my headphones in. I listen to my own music.
Yep.
I don't want to be able to hear anybody else's. I don't want people playing their music without headphones in. That annoys me to no end.
It seems teenagers seem to think that it's perfectly fine to do that. Like around the age of 15 or so, they think that
That's really specific.
They always play it out on loudspeaker.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed like any particular age group doing this, but it does annoy me. And it's usually the same genre of music. No one's ever playing classical music loudly on the train.
That's true. It's always R&B or, you know, rap
hip-hop
or hip-hop.
Yeah.
Or One Direction.
Oh, God.
Really?
Yes.
I've never had that happen to me.
That's
I'm
a
so
new thing. By the way, their new song is the worst song ever. I don't care what it's called.
Okay. Well, actually, those
For
two
reference,
guys...
Steph, who I don't think will have heard of it, it's called The Best Song Ever.
Oh.
That's the name of the song.
Okay.
I know it's too easy, but anyway.
The guys who were talking about, who were going to their parole hearing, or one of them's parole hearing, he had his music on. And the police were actually, well, the train guards or whatever, I think it was police actually coming through taking tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I loved those police at that time because they made them stop playing the music and actually talk to them for ages because the guy didn't have a ticket.
That's good.
And I'm like, thank you for entering this train. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I really appreciate you, police. But
do you reckon they do that because they think other people want to hear their music?
No, I just think they don't care.
Yeah, they don't
They
care.
want their friend to hear their music, so they don't care about everybody else on the train.
And they want to look like they don't care.
Yeah, that's another thing. But I think also, when you're on public transport, there should be no personal grooming of any sort. You shouldn't be plucking your eyebrows. You shouldn't be cutting your fingernails. You shouldn't be
flossing,
brushing your hair.
But I think some of it's okay. Like, I think if somebody was applying lip balm or...
Oh, lip balm's
lipstick
okay.
or something.
That's fine.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the stuff that, leaves your DNA behind.
I completely support no behaviour that leaves your DNA behind in a train.
So you shouldn't be flossing, because that's going to leave bits of stuff out of your teeth somewhere. You shouldn't be plucking your eyebrows,
cutting your nails,
cutting your fingernails. That kind of stuff is all really gross on public transport.
Like, I'm all for time management, but just leave this, like, the lip balm and the makeup application.
Yeah.
Not the, DNA.
Yeah. Nobody's going to want to clone you later and is going to find your DNA on the train.
Definitely not you. Not the person cutting their nails and plucking their eyebrows.
But I think a recent one that's come up with dinner table etiquette is mobile phones. Well, not really that recent, but it's in the last, 10 or 15 years. Mobile phones, iPads, tablets.
It drives me insane when people are using their phone at the table. Insane.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. But I remember going to a restaurant once, and there was a family having dinner, and there was about 3 or 4 kids there, and it would have been like, the kids and their cousins or something, family friends or something, because it was 2 pairs of adults. And all the kids were on iPads, iPhones, every single one of them. There was like 4 or 5 kids.
Yep.
And some of them were really young, and they weren't talking to each other, weren't looking at each other, just on their devices.
Staring at the screens.
And the parents were talking to each other, they were having a conversation, but the kids didn't want any part of it. And I thought that was really sad.
See, I don't mind people checking their phone. Like, if they get a message, I don't mind if somebody checks it. Or
Yeah.
if they get a call, it's okay to say, I have to take this.
Well, excuse me for a second, you leave the table, you take the phone call, you come back, you're not on the phone at the table while everybody else is trying to talk.
Yeah.
You're not playing Angry Birds while somebody's trying to have a conversation with you.
Especially because that, noise is really annoying. Did I do a good impression of that?
I don't know, actually.
I used to be a little bit obsessed with Angry Birds. Not anymore. Now I play Sudoku on my iPhone on the train.
Moved on up.
Yes, I have. I've gotten slightly more sophisticated.
Just slightly.
Yes, indeed. But any etiquette things that annoy you? Any pet peeves you have? People on public transport, in cubicles, guys in, with the
whistling.
I really want to know where you're going with this.
like guys in the bathroom, because the urinals are just there. Do you stand right next to someone?
You don't look.
That kind of stuff. Because I've never been in a guy's bathroom. I don't know about you guys, but I've never been in
had
one.
this issue. Although when you think about it, that is really weird.
Yeah, if a guy used to,
Imagine if women had to do that. That'd be the most awkward thing on the planet.
Yeah, it would be. I don't know how guys don't find it awkward.
I don't know why they don't just go to a cubicle.
I would. If I was a guy, I would.
I would too. I wouldn't go to the urinal. I'd go to a cubicle.
But yeah, let us know anything. Any etiquette issues you have, let us know on Facebook. You can also give us a call at the station here.
Obviously, any guys who know the rule, let me know.
Let us know. Yeah.
What's the rule, guys? I'm sure it's like it's an unspoken rule. You just know it. One of those things. Yeah.
You know it from when you're little.
We'll be back to talk about some more rules to etiquette coming up after this. This is Metric on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever on 2BACR 100.9 FM. So Rachel's got some tips from Ida Buttress, apparently, which is a little bit random.
Some words I never thought would be said on this show.
I've got a couple of quotes from Ida Buttrose with regards to etiquette. So these are a few excessive ones. One of them is don't wear singlet tops with trousers to the opera, theatre, or ballet.
See, I always think that you should dress up if you're going to the theatre.
Look, if you're going to like a Saturday matinee, I mean, I don't think you should wear a singlet top because it's cold in there.
Well, I always thought that, you know, if you're going to the theatre, it's something you should dress up for. You should wear, you know, some nice clothes, not like, you know, just clothes you'd wear to go to the movies.
I did.
Yeah, I don't really see the problem because you're sitting there in the dark.
I know, but it's like a...
I know that you feel this way because I remember you asking me when we were going to see something and I was like, it really doesn't matter. Yeah. And then you dressed up.
Yeah, well, I feel like you should. I know a lot of people don't these days, but I still feel like you should.
Okay, well, that's one of her tips. No singlet tops. But the point for no singlet tops is so that you don't expose other patrons to your armpits, especially the hairy ones.
Okay. Well,
That's
I've never really
not
thought
really
about that.
relevant.
I don't really wear singlet tops that often.
I treat the hairy patrons the same as the others. So then another tip is keep your shoes on while flying. Even buy a pair half a size larger than you would normally wear, just for flying.
Yeah, no.
So that you don't have to take your shoes off if your feet swell up.
Look, my feet don't smell. Not usually.
Swell or smell?
Swell.
But she says don't take your shoes off because your feet smell and you don't want to expose other people to the smell of your feet.
But you need to have a second pair that's larger in case your feet swell up while you're flying, because you can't take them off.
Yeah.
So you're going to need a bigger pair if they swell.
But I think if you don't have a bad smelling feet, then you should be able to take your shoes off on the plane.
Yeah, I don't really care.
And people don't, oh my god, the sight of your feet is grotesque. It's not like, you know, somebody's going to come up to you and say, your feet are so ugly, it's offending me. So I don't see the problem with that.
Yes, those are pretty...
Especially on a long flight. If you're on an hour flight, then, you know, there's no reason to take your shoes off. But
so those are pretty rare occasions to be throwing in some etiquette, right? So here are some more. Just let me know whether you think this is relevant or not and whether you do this. Mm-hmm. Number 1, wait for everyone to be served their food before you start eating.
I do that, yeah.
Yeah.
I do that.
Unless somebody's food is obviously taking a long time and they say, it's okay, you can start.
If they say it's okay, like tonight, for example, you guys said to me, it's okay, you can start eating.
Yeah. So your main before we got our entrees, it was weird. Yeah. And that was fine. Next, keep all of your things off the table when eating, as in your keys and your phone and your bag and things.
I don't put my bag on the table.
No.
But I think it's okay if you have your phone.
Yeah. To check the time and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's okay putting if you're going out and you've got like a clutch or a wallet, I think it's okay to put that on the table if you're in a very busy, crowded place. I mean, if that's all you're carrying.
If you have a wallet with you that's not in your handbag or something like that, yeah, I think that's okay to keep on the table. You're not going to put that on the floor or the seat, or on your lap.
And you can't sit on it.
Yeah, you definitely can't sit on mine comfortably. Don't text at the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you prefer not to have wine while dining out, don't turn your glass upside down.
I never did that anyway. I've never done that.
Yeah, that's usually not an issue for me. But yeah, apparently...
Why is that a big etiquette issue?
That's when you don't want wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't turn your glass upside down. I've never...
Because sometimes, people turn it upside down.
So they're not asked.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's okay to just say... Most people ask, do you want some wine? No.
And you go, no, I don't.
you just put your hand over the...
How about this one? Don't use a speakerphone unless you're in your office and holding a meeting that's being attended by someone remotely.
What?
As in, don't use a speakerphone in public. Only use it when you're in...
Generally, I think you need a door, to shut. You can't have it open.
Yeah, because then everybody can hear your conversation.
Yeah, people have done that in offices.
Oh.
It's very annoying.
We mentioned this next one earlier. Whoever arrives at a door first holds it open for the next person.
Yeah. I generally do that. Yeah,
if there's an acceptable distance, yep.
Yeah, or not if, the person's, 20 metres behind you, just like, yep, I'm just going to hold this door open until you get here.
Yeah.
Don't microwave stinky foods in the shared lunchroom.
Well, where do you do it? In your imaginary microwave at your desk.
You don't bring sticky food to the office.
If you're heating foods in some sort of communal microwave, covered. Don't just heat it open.
It has to be covered, because then your microwave gets all crappy and dirty, and then you're not allowed to...
Unless it's a piece of frozen bread.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
But I think you should definitely be aware of the aroma of your foods. Like, my sister loves salmon, like this particular type of salmon that's like in vinegar and stuff. But my brother and I cannot stand the smell of it. Okay. Like, to us, it's just
horrible.
The most gag-worthy thing ever smelled. And my sister loves this. I think my parents loved it too. But, like, for some reason, Kieran and I just never jumped on board. And, yeah, that just fills the kitchen whenever she cooks it, and it really annoys me.
Okay.
So I think things like tuna and fish and things in particular just don't have them at work at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If they smell bad, you should be aware of if something smells bad to other people.
I worry sometimes, because I have a lot of sushi at work, and I worry sometimes because I get tuna, but it doesn't really smell. Like, I can smell it, but then...
People eat whatever they want, and then they just say, sorry guys, sorry about the smell.
Usually this food smells good, though.
If you have to say sorry about the smell, you know that you shouldn't be eating it. Like, if you have to say sorry about the smell, why are you even eating it?
Because they like it.
If you know that it smells bad.
But tuna smells bad, but I like to eat tuna. Like, the fish smell is not a nice smell. But that's probably the only smelly food that I would eat, really. What else?
The next one, getting more specific, at the airport, don't crowd the boarding area. Once on board, you stow your stuff, and then you get out of the aisle quickly.
I agree with that, because we went flying recently, and I was trying to get to my seat, like, I was trying to stow my luggage, and these two, I'm pretty sure they were Spanish girls, were just talking and giggling and standing up, and, like, you know, their luggage was falling on them, and they're like, oh, and they're trying to put their luggage in, and I'm like, just put your luggage in and sit down. I have to put my luggage up, because there's this massive line behind me.
Yep.
So that I agree with 100%. Sit down, put your luggage in, sit down, get out of people's way.
And shut up.
Yeah, exactly. Basically that.
How about this one? Let people off the elevator and hold the doors open for others before you board.
Oh, yeah, you hold the door.
Yeah. Anyone coming out or off a train or something gets right of way.
Yeah, definitely.
Number 10, if all you have to say in your email reply is thanks, don't send it.
No.
I tend to want to make that long. If all I have to say is thank you, then I tend to make the email just a little bit longer.
I think you do need to, like, acknowledge
you have to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
You have to say thanks, John, or thanks, Barry.
How about this? When talking to someone in person, don't glance down at your cell phone to see who's trying to reach you.
Yep, that's true.
So I just think it depends. Like, you can... Because if somebody's calling you, you can say, oh, sorry, I need to see who this is or something.
Well, you can just, like, look at it and they'll be like, yeah, just keep talking to someone.
It comes across as a bit like...
Do you reckon it depends on who you're talking to, though? Whether it's a friend or somebody at work? Like, if your boss is talking to you, you should pay attention.
And I still think it's rude if you're, you know, oh, you're my friend, I'm going to ignore you for this. But I think that it's okay to look at it, because even if it's just to silence the phone, so it's not ringing in someone's face, you know?
Yeah. This number 12 is just a list of email etiquette. No all caps, no coloured fonts or clip-art emoticons. Do not attach large files, and don't forward an email unless appropriate.
I should say that you should check who you're sending it to. I got an email from someone, and they were saying, I'll change the name, but it was no Stacey, no party.
Okay, that was the entire email.
No, there was more than that, but it ended off with no Stacey, no party, and I just emailed back like, sorry, I think you've sent this to the wrong person.
Okay, so we'll go to our next set of songs.
Oh, there's only a couple left.
I
can see you telling me to wrap it up. I can see you guys.
We don't have much time left, and we've still got topics to get through.
Yes, I know. This was work emails can be sent any time, but business texts should be restricted to 1 hour before the start of the workday to 2 hours after it ends. As in, you should only respond to work things within an hour or so of work.
People are like glued to their laptops 24/7 now, and it really depends on your job.
Yeah, it really does. Sometimes people have to, if it's in your job description, you should have to be available 24/7.
Yep.
If that's in your job description. If it's not, then yeah, turn your work phone off after you finish work.
My manager will get calls at 3 a.m. Yeah.
But some people, you know, they know that that's what their job is, to be on call 24/7.
Well, let us know on Facebook what you think of all of those examples of etiquette, whether you agree with them, don't agree with them, if there's any exceptions. Right now, this is American Pie on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever on 2BACR 100.9 FM. So, I saw Man of Steel on Sunday, This is my first movie review, so be kind. Anyway,
be mean.
So Man of Steel is obviously the next Superman movie.
Mm-hmm. So far, you're doing well.
My first thing that I really noticed about it was that it's so different to any other Superman movie. So it's not the kind of, it doesn't follow that, formula of, he's Clark Kent and then he finds out he's got these powers and then he's become Superman and he's, kind of reporter during the day and he's Superman as well, saving people. It doesn't follow that. It's really quite different. And the first half an hour or so of it is based on Krypton.
Yep.
Which I thought was really strange. I heard that Russell Crowe was in it, and I thought, how much time could we really spend with
Jor-El?
Jor-El, yeah, because usually it's the planet explodes,
flashback or something. Flashback.
Kind of just, I'm sending my son away to Earth, and then the planet explodes, and that's basically it. I'm like, why would Russell Crowe agree to be in 5 minutes of a movie? But he's in it for quite a lot. And then there's also, projections of him later on. So he's in quite a lot of the movie. But yeah, it was really well done, I thought. I quite enjoyed the movie. One thing I would say about it, though, is that the fight scenes went on for a little bit too long. So it wasn't a short movie, but there is this whole section where it's just Superman and the main villain, which is General Zod, just fighting. And destroying buildings and, getting knocked around and, Superman fights these two other people from Krypton at once and then he gets beaten up and knocked around and then he beats these people. And it's just like, how many buildings can I destroy during this movie? And that's what I felt like. Like, after a while, you're just like, okay, if I see another building collapse, I'm going to scream. Because literally, they destroyed most of Metropolis. It's meant to be Metropolis in this movie. They destroyed most of it. And there's buildings falling down and people running and trying not to get crushed by buildings. And I think thousands of people would have died just from Superman trying to kill Zod. Which, okay, he saves the planet.
That happens in every superhero movie. Yeah, the Avengers was just
No, think of the Avengers and times that by 20. This is the destruction that happens in Superman.
Okay.
Yeah. You know how, in the Avengers, that thing comes through the building?
Yes.
Now think of that building completely disintegrating, and that is Superman.
Okay.
Also, my small problem with it was that there are some really corny lines. There's one in the beginning where Superman's with Lois Lane, and he's like, I have to stop the bleeding. I have to, because she's injured. And he's like, I can do things that other people can't. And I just thought...
He actually, use his laser vision to stitch her up and then realise that's not how that works. He just cut her in two.
Yeah. It was really corny at this point in time. I'm like, we could have really done without that. And there was another line which is my favourite of the movie, which was, there's only two ways there's only one way this can end. With my death or with yours. And I'm like, isn't that two ways?
Two things.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's two. Yeah. But other than these small things, I think if I go back and watch it, some of my other problems with it might be cleared up because there are a few little holes here and there. But I think these might be cleared up if I watch them again because I might just pay attention a bit more than just thinking, oh my God, that building is collapsing. These people are getting crushed. That completely disintegrated. So
you would watch it again?
I would watch it again, definitely. Because I thought that the way they did Superman in this one, it wasn't like Superman's really goody-goody. Oh my God, I'm this really awesome country boy and I'm going to go into the city and get a job and then I'm going to save people. It wasn't like that at all.
I wish people could see your face right then because I've never seen anyone look more like an anime character.
It's always been my goal in life to look like an anime character. But yeah, I really liked how... the conflict that Superman really went through in this movie. And I think it's not shown in these other movies because he's always seemed to be this really well put together kind of I save people and that's what I do kind of person. Yeah. So to give it a rating, I'd probably give it 7.5 out of 10 because it was quite
real
good.
Thought through.
Yeah.
This is in total contrast. Okay, a couple of people I know who have seen it have both said it was terrible. One lady said it was the worst movie she's ever seen.
No, it definitely wasn't. I quite liked it.
Well, you can't say that it's not the worst movie she's ever seen.
Oh, maybe it's the worst movie she's ever seen, but she's been watching some really brilliant movies then.
Or she has just a very limited knowledge of cinema,
Yeah, well, and also her husband fell asleep.
Well, but I don't think it was... Okay.
It was what you expected, though, right?
Not really. It wasn't what I expected at all of a Superman movie. But I can understand that some of the fight scenes would have been... It got a little bit boring. Because they did go on for too long. And there's only so much stuff you can see get destroyed without thinking, okay, come on, this has to end.
Yep.
You can't destroy the entire city with just 2 people fighting.
Mm.
But I think that was
Challenge
kind
accepted, apparently.
It was kind of to show how much more powerful they were than everybody else, you know what I mean?
But at a certain point, you'd be like, we get it.
Okay, we get it. Just stop this now. Just one of you, please. This is enough, you know?
Yeah.
Compared to other reboots like Batman and Spider-Man, how's this one?
Well, I think that I like the Batman films better.
Yep.
I always like Batman better than Superman. I think Batman's a better character in general.
He's so much cooler.
But I think in this film, Superman has a lot more depth than he does in previous films. So I still like the Batman franchise better, and I'm really kind of looking forward to the Batman-Superman movie, which they're going to be in together.
How does this Superman compare to Smallville? Because I know that within films they can't sometimes develop characters that much, but obviously Smallville had 10 seasons.
Yeah.
And yet it didn't seem to develop that much in character.
No, I think...
I mean, they had more chances throughout all those episodes to show the darker side and to show different aspects of Clark Kent compared to films. So how did it compare in that sense?
Well, I haven't seen every season of Smallville. I kind of just watched the beginning, so I didn't really get... the whole evolution of Superman from Smallville.
And you didn't get the Zod episodes, obviously.
I did
season
see
8.
some Zod in because I watched an episode here and there, but I don't know. I think this Superman was better than the Smallville Superman. I didn't really like him much then. I thought he was a little bit too boyish throughout most of it. He seemed like a little kid to me throughout most of it.
Oh, okay.
And even when he was trying to be serious, I didn't really believe him. So, yeah, this movie was pretty good. I'd recommend everybody go and watch it.
Okay. Cool, we'll be back after Counting Stars on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Welcome back, zombies, to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever on 2BACR 100.9 FM. So we're running out of time quite quickly this week, so we'll just get straight into our last topic.
As you know, Steph and I have been training for Oxfam Trail Walker.
We did some training today, a 30k walk, which I think my feet are kind of,
stuffed?
Yeah, pretty stuffed.
Yeah, but here's the thing. One of our team members has decided to go on a holiday, but she's not going to be able to do the walk anymore.
She's overseas for work, yeah.
Which means that we have to find someone to replace this team member, trying to convince someone to do a 100-kilometre walk through bushland with us in less than a month.
People that people that this person hasn't really met before. Because we've got the other team member who's trying to convince one of his friends.
Yeah.
Which we think that this friend should definitely do it, because it'll be the experience of a lifetime.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Also, they could spend a day with us, and who wouldn't want to do that?
Yeah, do it. Do it, whoever you are.
Obviously, trying to get someone as soon as possible is important, because trying to convince someone to do the walk
and then they have to
the day before would be hard.
Yeah, they have to train.
We need to find someone, at least like a month ago, like at the beginning of the year, it didn't really matter, but now we really need to find someone who's already fit.
Yeah.
Who could just jump in.
Yeah, so if anybody is interested in the progress of our trail walk, we will actually be recording a little bit of it. So we'll have some recording equipment with us on the trail. We'll probably record the beginning when we start, somewhere in the middle, and possibly the end if we make it that far. If we don't, we'll just hang our heads in shame. We do have a little bit of an agreement going on that if we make it to the end, we'll treat ourselves to dinner at somewhere really, really nice. If we don't make it, we have to eat at the crappiest place we can find.
So if you've got any suggestions as to like the worst place in Sydney to eat, you can let us know.
Yeah, let us know on the Facebook
I've got a
page.
suggestion which I won't say.
Don't say it on air. So that's basically it. We'll be recording this. I'll see if I can get some footage of it as well. We'll put it up on our YouTube page. Our YouTube. Yeah, if anybody's...
YouTube page, right? Yeah. Most of our past recordings, I think all except last week, are now up there.
Yeah.
Search for Zombie Fever and just put in a date for Wednesday, you'll come up with it, or you can search for the Wednesday Zombie Fever channel.
Yeah, if you miss us that much and you can't wait till next Wednesday.
We understand.
Yeah, we definitely do.
We're here for you on Facebook.
You can always listen to us again on YouTube. But yeah, so we will be posting up hopefully some footage and our recordings of the trail walk, which happens one weekend in August. Which weekend is that?
It is the weekend. It's the Friday starting the 23rd. We get 48 hours. We're going to be done pretty quickly, though.
Hopefully, if we don't die first.
Totally.
Hopefully, we'll make it. And
I think we're going to make it. I think we've got a pretty good chance. Judging by how we're going now with our training, I'm really hopeful.
You're half the team, though.
We are half the team.
We are.
But half the team can finish.
That's true.
The other half of the team... Well, we're missing a quarter of the team at the moment. But the other quarter of the team is looking to recruit that quarter.
Right.
Yeah.
And apparently is almost 100% into recruiting that quarter.
If anybody's not familiar with Trail Walker, it is basically a 100k walk in 48 hours for Oxfam, the charity.
In teams of 4. Not a relay, all 4 of us start and finish.
Yeah, teams of 4. Together we do 100k. So it is quite a difficult task, but possibly well worth it, hopefully.
And if you want to make any bets on, between Stephanie and I, whether you think we're going to make it to the end, or if you don't think we will, who do you reckon's going to bail first?
Between us two?
Between us two.
I'm not going to bail first.
I'm not going to bail
I'll have to saw my own foot off before I do that.
Bridget, between the two of us.
You're both incredibly stubborn. So I'm not entering into this.
We're going to be dragging.
If I was doing the walk, it'd probably be me, but I'm not.
You were the smart one. Anyway, so we're going to our last song for this evening. Yep,
the last song is It's Getting Boring by the Sea by Blood Red Shoes on 2BACR 100.9 FM. There you go.
So that's all we've got time for tonight on Wednesday Night Zombie Fever. Tune in next week where we'll do our last topic, which we didn't get time for today, which is the coat of arms of Australia and our flag. So if you have any opinions on the flag or the coat of arms, let us know on our Facebook page if you think it should be changed or if you like it the way it is. Even give us a picture of what you think the flag should look like. Post it on our page. We're happy to look at them. We'll judge which one's the best.
We're happy to judge whatever you post on the Facebook page to the full extent of...
Ask us questions. Tell us your troubles. We will listen.
Don't tell us your troubles. We did this when we asked people to request the theme song to their life. We're not your therapist. Okay. I don't know how many times we have to tell the zombies that.
So we did also ask for the Facebook page before the show today what topics you'd like us to talk about on our show. So next week you'll hear some of those topics that you guys suggested. Mm-hmm. Thanks for that.
Yep.
Some really great ones on there.
One of the other things that we asked on Facebook, BRW this week released its annual list of Australia's richest families. And we were asking people to try to guess the 5 wealthiest Aussie dynasties. We had guesses that were actually pretty common. Reinhardts, Packers, Murdochs.
Which is what I thought too.
None of that. Not even close.
Because it is the family together, right? The whole family kind of inheritance thing.
Yeah, so I don't know their actual specific sort of, criteria for this, but it is specifically families, not individuals, and for a lot of those, they own most of their money individually, not as a collective
group.
Group, the family. So here's the top 5. Number 1, the Smorgans from Melbourne, which I love because they've got Smorg in their name.
Yeah.
They're literally just sitting on top of piles of gold like a dragon. Second is Besson. 3rd, Lieberman. 4, Meyer. And 5, Wilson. I think the Wilsons... Actually, it says that most of their stuff is in retail. But do you reckon they're in charge of the Wilson car parks? Because they would make a lot of money.
Oh, possibly.
This thing is just sitting there.
I didn't think of that. It's probably, might be them.
Car park business, are you in?
Yep, I'm in for that. If you make it onto that list, I'm in for anything. Almost anything.
If I make it onto that list, I don't need you.
I think you'll need me to make it onto that list.
Okay, fine.
All right, but that's really all we've got time for today. Don't forget to tune in to Rachel's morning show from 7 to 9 on Mondays and Tuesdays. And we'll be back next week.
From 9 to 11, you are listening to Wednesday Night Zombie Fever on 2BACR 100.9 FM.
Bye.
Bye.
working in the lab late